Welcome back to Satisfactory. I'm so glad you're here. We are in the midst of getting more copper sheets. And I came over here to our aluminum factory where we're making copper sheets. I don't know. And I did remember this. We had a aluminum copper sheet export only. My guess, the aluminum copper sheet importer is also getting copper sheets directly. So there's not a lot going out here. So I'm going to upgrade this very small copper sheet situation. See if we can crank out some more copper sheets. First thing we could do is upgrade this. This was doing 300 per. Oof, now it's doing 600 per. We really don't have a lot of room to add more smelters. Right now we've got 9 times 270 at 600 divided by 9. Each one would have to be at least doubled. Wow. All of these are going to have to be overclocked in order to take advantage of this new miner. Let's also make sure we get everything out of here. Sometimes things get a little clogged. We would need so many shards. And we really don't have room unless we do something super aggressive. It would have to be something super aggressive. We would need so many shards. Let me check in on the turbos. I'm not giving up on that, but I want to see how many turbos we have. I would like to finish our quantum encoding here because there's a pretty strong building that we could be making. You know what? I think I want to pick up some trigons and time crystals before I check in on the turbos. Oh, we don't have any reanimated Sam over here? We're just not delivering enough, I guess. 75 per minute. That's not great. Luckily, we're kind of ahead on this output, obviously, so I'm not going to worry about that right now, though we do need to figure out our reanimated SAM. This is actually what I was looking for. I'm going to take this summer sloop with me, I think. Okay. Let's see how many turbo engines we've made. I'm not guessing we've made enough. I think it's gonna be like 20. Well, half of what we need. A lot better than I thought. Radio controls. Of course, we're having issues with radio controls because we're having issues with copper sheets currently. Can I make it? I think I can make it. Yeah, we can totally make this. Having those force field Mark 6 belts goes a long way. Now there could be a test bench, but before we get to that, let's look and see if we have enough supercomputers. I feel confident that we have enough supercomputers. Yeah. We need 8. Alright, hold on. Let's just dump them all back in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 stacks of 50 supercomputers. That's done. Oh wait, I don't really want more supercomputers now. I want more turbo. But this whole bench is no longer about turbos, it's about other things. Boy, there's some terrible recipes that I'm getting. Coal plus limestone for cloudy diamonds. That might be okay if I hadn't already put in our diamond recipe. I got enough for 12 turbo motors. Even that is being limited by our our radio control units. If I'm willing to take the time, I could probably handcraft those. I wonder if I have any turbo motor stuff going on over here at the home base. I don't think I'm making any in the hot desert. Sometimes I get a good reminder if I look at the actual inputs and outputs for it. I'm pretty sure this propulsion rocket is the only place where I'm making these. So yeah, we don't have an additional place where we're making turbo motors. We need such a small amount. $42 of them is such a small amount. At the very least, I can pick up some power slugs. We need 42 turbos. Ugh, and we need them because we don't have the copper sheets. Let me keep working on the copper sheets before I handcraft those turbo engines. I could probably handcraft them in between, but I'm gonna see if I can get a couple more copper sheets going first. You know, I'm starting to think maybe I should upgrade my personal jetpack, my personal fuel source, to rocket fuel. We know we have a little extra. Actually, we have a lot extra. Enough where the amount I use flying around doesn't matter. I feel like if I'm gonna do a high-speed push, I should keep it to the left. Though this belt's pretty fast, so I shouldn't have to worry about it. So 75, that's 225. It's 180 or plus 225. 405. So now it's 75. 75 times 6 plus 90. 540. We need 60 more. And we ran out of shards again. Ooh, my favorite thing is right there, surrounded by some of my least favorite things. We're gonna try to sneak up on this thing. Well, I had success for one, but the spitter found me. I mean, if he's willing to be cool, I'm willing to be cool. I don't think I caught a bunch of momentum there. man. This is not a momentum situation. Come on.
I don't know. Have a good day.
Oh, God. An absolute nightmare of radioactive boar. Sheesh. These guys are super aggressive. Yeah, they're gonna knock me off the edge here. In revenge for all of their fallen brothers from previous versions that got knocked off. Okay, alright. I only really need one purple power slug. I see one over there. I'm gonna go for that one. Of course, that one could be worse. Oof. Oh my god, they're taking shots from halfway across the map now. Well, I'm definitely not dealing with all those radioactive rocks. Ugh, there we go.
This is a shrine to windows and weaving.
Some spitters trying to track me down, but we're not gonna let them do that. Okay, we picked up enough. We picked up enough at least to process all of the copper. that we're going to be sitting on after we process everything down. Let's make sure we've got this in place. It's always nice to have these overclocking the process. See, that is a mistake. I don't understand why that only gave me 5 when I had the summer sloop in place for ×2. And the recipe calls for 1 × 5. There's an error being had here. I think I got cheated out of 5 shards, by the way. I think I need to put this over here and let it get fed by a belt for some reason. Yeah, see, so that worked, but only once. What is going on with these recipes? Or did it? Oh God, what happened? I did 1 purple and 2 yellow. And for that, I would expect to get 5, 2, 7, 18. But for some reason, I got 13. Five, but then 7. No, 8. Yeah, 13. So yeah, it worked when I dropped them in here, but when I dropped it in directly, it didn't multiplier on the summer sloop. I think that's a bug, actually. I think that's a bug. I think I got cheated out of 5 shards, which is a lot of shards. Yes, I'm leaving that purple power slug there. $75 times 9, $675. So now we can process more ore than we're making here. That $675 should be enough to fully cover this factory and give us enough to kind of make some copper sheets on the side. As long as it's fed by a belt, I guess. I really do feel ripped off on that. Can I stand up here and grab this? I can. Yep, gotta feed it with a belt. So this should actually be reducing an ore by a little bit. Okay, so we're fully utilizing the copper ore. Our factory is backing up. One, two, three. Oh, so we have 9 of these. Well, you know, at the same time, the primary responsibility for this factory is the aluminum stuff. So yeah, I think it's fine. We don't have to completely consume everything. I'll just make this last one a 3. I'll leave this one unoverclocked. I mean, that's making more. It's definitely increased the amount of copper sheets we're making. We finally got the coal levels where it need to be. Some of these copper sheets are going out to make heat sinks, but our heat sink factory is already full of heat sinks. So that's really not anything to worry about. Let's hand deliver some copper sheets to, I think, the radio control unit need it. I should label these more. It would be helpful to know for a fact that this is the copper sheet line that we're looking for. Oh wait, we're looking for that to make computers. Bah. And technically, some of this computer tower isn't even online. Yeah, the original problem that we had is still kind of in place on this little short version. This guy's not even connected to cabling. Well, that tiny bit of copper sheet boost will probably help us consume some of the silica. My temptation is to rebuild the computer part of this so we can get more computers. Since there's only 2 of them in here, I could delete these 2 and just rebuild it. Now that I know that, at least when I built this originally, it was plagued with bugs if I tried to directly connect. Splitters on a lift in a blueprint. It caused weird things like this, where this isn't connected. It's a real mess. Ooh. We got some goings on right here. there's almost enough for us to make a drop here. Increase our computer output a little bit. All right, I'm going to make some turbo engines, but I'm not going to have you sit here and watch me make them. I shall return. Okay, and we are back. Now that we have the turbo motors that we need, checking in to see if we were charging our batteries, and we are. I kind of want to check in on our... Hey. Kind of want to check in on our turbo fuel. But first we will ship it.
Milestone reached. This is not a competition, but other pioneers, such as 83CKY and U531355, had already completed project assembly by this point. Fix-It was obviously wrong about you, but perhaps so was I. Regardless, you have finally unlocked the quantum encoder, which requires vast fluctuating power and excited photonic matter to produce highly complex parts. Do not make the same mistakes managing the resulting dark matter residue as you did other byproducts. Project part number 11, the AI expansion server, is now your highest priority. Galaxy-wide project management is taxing to even the most advanced among us, especially those who have to manage the less advanced. Like kittens and puppies, who are definitely still waiting for you to save them.
Uh-huh. Whew. Okay. I feel like if I get caught up in this, I will totally get caught up in this. Turbo fuel. Not enough fuel. Yeah, it's right at, well, it's over 100 actually. 33, 43. So that's 110. And this is right at 100. So that's the reason why it's not catching up. You don't have to downgrade this though. That's closer to 110 now. I mean, the very specific micro tweaking that we would need to do to get this to be perfect. I guess with these upgrades though, we could probably not worry about power savings. And just for a second here, I'm gonna hack like crazy. See if we can make a little bit of a backlog. My turbo tower is probably the best and worst thing that I made this game, or this run. But I think it's probably okay for now. Oh, these guys down here just aren't getting packed fuel. Where's the packed fuel supply? You know, I'd expect to see some packed fuel kind of in the flow here. 725. Let me double check on that. That sounds a little low to me. Even though it is coming from halfway across the street. Oh! We got lucky we had a little bit of fuel left. I mean, I guess I should start in on rocket fuel, if no other reason. Of course, to get rocket fuel, I'd have to pack it. Okay, let's do an upgrade. Upgrading the fuel side, I don't think is 100% necessary. Oh, that's the part that comes out. The empties. Yeah, okay. We'll at least clear the... We'll clear the drone hub as quickly as possible. Sheesh. That's a lot of fuel going. I'm overclocking everything, which is just causing us to burn power. Seems like a little bit of resin, a little less resin. I would guess very little, if any, is making its... Whoa, why do we have so much over here? Is this a plane splitter? No. I find it hard to believe that we were fully backed up on this. I'm not sure why so much resin made its way over here. Gotta check to make sure there's not a secret little piece of belt. Oh, that looks like that actually helps. I wonder if I have this exactly set with 240 water. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 120, 220 water. I think that's enough for now. Alright, so that will definitely give us a nice chunk of fuel to use to make turbo fuel with. At least over here I managed to figure out to use the awesome sink. Alright, I think that's enough tweaking for one day. We might have to go on to the dark matter. Dark matter crystals, dark matter residue. Man, I wish I remembered which blueprint I used. Oh boy. There's really no easy way to find it unless I used an icon that would jump out at me. Not yet. Dark matter residue. Diamonds plus dark matter residue equals dark matter crystals. So it was something related to dark matter. Reanimated based factory? Wow, that's actually it. My cooling units aren't uploading. Oh no, that means I'm not making cooling units. Why am I not making cooling units? Okay, let's check that out, then we'll call it. Because I should be making cooling units. Am I not uploading them? That's weird. All right. There we go. I guess I just never collected a, or connected a uploader. So what was that recipe again? Or what was it? Reanimated base factory, that's what it was. How many of these could we possibly need? 8? 10? What a crazy expensive blueprint. Holy moly. $2,000 sand fluctuator. Oh, that's gonna hurt. But we'll figure it all out in the next episode. Thanks for hanging out. I do appreciate it. We'll see you next time.